We are live.
We live.
Yes.
Yes.
Joe, welcome.
Thank you. Welcome
Live
to you.
on Instagram and YouTube.
And YouTube.
Fantastic.
Welcome, everyone. If anyone's watching us, welcome.
Yeah. This is a live session about first quarter in Bali.
Yeah.
Mainly about real estate, but everything else going on as well.
Yeah.
And for any of you sitting out there on Instagram or YouTube who has questions, very important, just put it in the comments. That would be amazing. And then we will
Don't look at us.
Yeah, we will catch up. Yeah, don't look at the screen.
Don't look at the screen.
We have a new screen down here. It's amazing. And then we will catch up. So, welcome to everyone. And Joe, I normally do this kind of interview with you.
So today I'm going to interview you.
Okay, you want my script? Yeah, cool. No, let's start with the elephant in the room, the war in the Middle East.
Yes.
So, has it impacted Bali, and what's your feeling right now? Because it started in the middle of first quarter.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're 6 weeks in now, I think. Naturally, this is going to have an impact on Bali, primarily because of the flights, right? Yeah. So I think we read somewhere around 40% of the flights that arrive into Bali go through the Middle East. Yeah. And so at the beginning, the initial impact that we saw was a lot of flights were delayed, cancelled, particularly in those first couple of weeks. Yeah. For me, just the feeling is that it's been quieter here. Driving around Bali, driving around Canggu, there's less people. It was very interesting to see from the business dynamics where it felt quieter, but it also felt like we were actually getting more inquiries from the Middle East, and perhaps people were second guessing, thinking about where was next for them. So yeah, it's been interesting. It feels like it's getting a little bit busier again now. More flights are open, but of course it's still ongoing. So it's not
I think it's just the first few weeks, people were a little bit panicking, and then they said, oh, we are not flying through the Middle East. 40% is a lot. Yeah. Qatar, Emirates, Etihad. Yeah. But they are flying a little bit now. Yeah. But mainly Turkish Airlines and Singapore Airlines, I think they were taking over a little bit the traffic.
I went to the airport 3-4 weeks ago, and the queue for Turkish Airlines was crazy. I mean, a lot of people needed to get those. So it feels like it's getting a bit busier now. We have no idea from this side how it actually is there, but you speak to a lot of our clients are sat in the Middle East and told us they were very much going about their life as normal, and a lot of our clients still managed to get flights here as well. But of course, it's had a big impact, and hopefully it will be over soon.
When you look at the Middle Eastern market for us, Dubai has always been a very, very big customer base as well, right? I feel a little bit like we have a lot of interest, but it hasn't peaked yet, and we haven't sort of like turned the interest into transactions yet. But I think it will come. Yeah, I mean,
I think naturally when something like that's going on where you live, people will start to think, is this the place that I always want to be? Or perhaps is there somewhere else that I should have as a second option? And that's probably what will happen in the future. As this settles down, people might start to explore Bali a little bit more and say, okay, it's good to have that as a second base. We've always had that anyway. A lot of our clients sat in the Middle East. And I think in Dubai, is it 75% of the people that live there are expats, and it's a very diverse community there. People from all over the world, and a lot of them will look for a second home. And Bali, of course, compared to Dubai, is also very affordable.
And they should look for a second home, right? I mean, the entry price in Dubai is absolutely insane. Yeah. What you get in Bali for the same price, let's say a 2-bedroom apartment in Dubai, we know is probably, you talk to Rob, right? And what was the price?
$600,000-$700,000, I think, for something worth investing in.
You get a mansion in Bali for that price.
Absolutely. So, but we've had a lot of people show interest, and hopefully the flights will open up soon, and it will settle down in that area. We'll see a lot of these clients come and visit us.
Yeah, I think like you said, I'm really looking at the big picture here, and the war in the Middle East is just absolutely insane, and it's affecting the whole world. Yeah. And the crisis in the Hormuz Strait is going to impact us very, very soon, also in Indonesia. But one thing I noticed in Indonesia is everything seems to be okay in Indonesia, and Bali is of course a big part of it, right? Yeah. We haven't felt the inflation, we haven't felt the huge price increases that they do in Europe.
No, absolutely. I think speaking to family in the UK and clients that are sat in other countries, the rate at which fuel prices went up was very fast.
It's so crazy.
And here you barely noticed it. I don't even know if it changed really. So
it didn't change.
No. Yeah, and Bali, we've both been in Bali a long time, and a lot of times when something happens in Bali, it's kind of in its own little bubble, and
we
you
are in
seem
our
to
own
just
bubble,
get on with your life and not really know a lot about what's going on outside of Bali. But yeah, as I said, I'm sure we will start to see a lot of our clients from the Middle East arrive here in the next few months as flights open up, and realize that Bali is also a fantastic place.
It feels a little bit like during COVID, where there was this confusion what's going on, and I'm pretty sure as soon as hopefully this war is going to be over, then we're going to see a big boom in Bali again. The funny thing about Dubai is we have a lot of people from Dubai in Bali right now.
Yes.
A lot of real estate agents.
A lot of agents.
A lot of agents.
Yeah. And
a lot of influencers.
A lot of influencers, a lot of agents. I mean, you mentioned one of them that we spoke to a couple of weeks ago, and he said that probably 20% of the real estate agents in Dubai make 80% of the transactions that are there. He also said that most agents there are fully reliant on commissions and sales, so they will only be able to survive for a few months. So we're getting a lot of them come and try and look into Bali.
It's not that easy. If you want to have a little piece of Bali, you have to work very hard. So, okay, the next one, probably everyone around the world heard that Bali is banning Airbnb.
Yeah.
What the hell happened?
So, being in Bali for such a long time, you learn that things get inflated quite a lot. When something comes out in the news, it's like a huge, crazy news, and in the end, nothing really ever happens. So what happened is, first of all, the governor of Bali came out and said, I'm banning Airbnb, which wasn't actually the case, right?
True.
What he said and what he meant, and we actually covered it in some other videos, was that they wanted to take off any illegally operating
which
villas,
is fantastic.
Which is, absolutely spot on, right? A lot of those were in green zones, agricultural zones. They didn't have the right permits. They didn't have the licenses. They weren't operating correctly. And therefore, what he meant is they needed to be removed.
Correct.
The rules have always been in place, actually. People think that these are new laws that were coming out.
No.
These were just enforced laws that had been around for a long time. So what they said is, in order to facilitate that, we need to make sure that you have certain licenses, permits in place,
Correct.
so that you can remain on the OTAs, the online travel agencies, Airbnb, Booking.com. So they set a deadline of March the 31st, and they said, by this date, you need to have had these things uploaded. And if you haven't, then...
Uploaded where?
To the OTAs, to Airbnb, to Booking.
Correct.
And if you haven't, you would be removed.
Okay.
Now, a lot of people panicked about this and got very scared and said, everything
a lot of
was
stress in Bali.
A lot of stress. People said everything was going to be removed and so on. My opinion was that it was the right move, but all that was going to happen is anyone that was operating illegally would be taken off, quite rightly. And as I said, most of them were operating in agricultural zonings where they weren't allowed to do it, or without the licenses, or just trying to operate it perhaps personally as a foreigner when you should be using a company or a PTPMA. So there was a lot of hype about it. On the 31st of March, we didn't really feel anything. Nothing changed, really. It was like, okay, we knew they'd been taken off, but nothing really changed. But
I think it's the right approach. To be honest, I think you need a permit for sure. You need to have a legal rental property.
Yes.
This is a much better scenario than, like I told you, in Maui. The government just stepped in and said, listen, we are banning everyone. We are removing people who didn't have the right permits, just lost their whole investment. I think this, when I look, we were a little bit, what are these guys doing? But it was the right way to tell the OTA platforms, you need to sort this out. And so tell people out there, tell them a little bit about we have the NIB. Below that, NIB is company or organization number, right?
Yeah. So basically what they've requested now is that your NIB, which is your business registration, needs to have certain KBLIs in it. Now, KBLI is basically the business activity.
Exactly.
Right? There's a list that's been handed out, and it basically says for your NIB, for your villa, it should have one of these KBLIs, right, which is Pondok Wisata or Villa license or so on. It also states that to be on an OTA, an online travel agency platform, it needs to be a PTPMA that uploads it, right? But at the moment, this is being handled by the management companies.
Yeah.
So again, nothing has really changed. Do I think maybe it will be enforced in the future or change? Yeah, I think it will be an adaptation. It'll get stricter over time, but I don't think it's anything to worry about because, especially with us, we only sell villas in the correct zonings with the right permits and licenses in place. So there's nothing to be concerned about from the outside. But if anything, it's a good thing because it means that over time, the competition that shouldn't be there will be removed.
How big a percentage on a platform like Airbnb do you think is illegal? Take a wild guess.
Do you know the number?
No.
Okay, a wild guess. I could be way off. I would say there's probably 20 to 30%.
I'm thinking 30.
Yeah, but again, we have to think that a lot of people. This also affects locals, right? We're not talking that this is just foreigners that have come in. This is a lot of locals that have built their own villas in green zones. Maybe they own the land and it's in green zone and therefore it's just not allowed to be online. There'll be a lot of foreigners who are just trying their luck, I would say. And even if you are in the right zoning, you still need the permits.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, ultimately it comes down to one thing. The government would like tax money, and this is the way to regulate that people are paying their tax. Sure. And so it's absolutely fair and correct what they're doing. But I
think we mentioned it before. If everyone paid the tax they were supposed to, Bali would be one of the richest islands in the world. Yeah. Which is scary, right? Because we have so many things that needs to be changed in Bali, and it all takes money, and that money has to come from tax revenue.
For sure. But nothing to be concerned about. I would say this is a good thing and can only help people that are investing here in the right way.
Yeah. Just make sure you only buy from Propertia who are selling legally, operating villas. Yeah. Easy. We just recently, the last 2 months, we had another issue, which is a bit smelly.
Yes.
What is that?
The garbage issue.
We have the famous garbage issue. Yeah. What is that about?
You probably, hopefully know more than I do about this. I mean,
I think we have a picture right now.
Up on the screen now.
So there was it the 1st of April? Yeah. It was announced by the governor, Ryan Costa, that we are closing down the landfill. Yeah. So for all of us who was here during COVID and, we experienced what it was like when there was no people here. Yeah. It's absolutely insane the government hasn't fixed this problem. Yeah. And I'm very, very sorry. Maybe it's tax income, missing tax income. Yeah. But you cannot have an island that doesn't have the infrastructure about garbage. Yeah. And landfills are not the solution, right?
No, absolutely. and there's a big problem with it right now when you live here and tourists that are coming. And unfortunately, everywhere you go, you see the garbage piled up and it's not nice. No. I mean, I think there are steps underway as part of a bigger plan to fix this. Yeah. And everyone needs to do their bit when it comes to something like this, right? I mean, I drive every morning when I drive to the gym or work, I just see piles and piles of it everywhere, right?
We need to sort out our trash.
For sure.
And the very, very reasonable request was sort your trash, organic, non-organic. Yeah. I actually heard they hired a UK company as a consultant company and a Chinese company to help them sort of the infrastructure of the trash. And it's already in place, but it takes time. I think within 6 to 12 months, it's probably fixed. Yeah. But, we also have a real estate company in Mallorca, which is another island, much smaller than Bali. They don't have trash problems. No. So it's something, again, it's a little bit the Balinese, Indonesian way. We are a little too late with everything. Yeah. I think it will be fixed. I know it will be fixed, but it takes time. Yeah. So for you tourists that are coming to Bali, please bear with us living here. And Bali is still a beautiful place, but we have small issues. Yeah. Roma, can you just go back to the organic template where how to sort the trash? Because we have a screen down here. See, this is the idea. This is the ideal scenario, right? You have your compost method. That means you take your organic waste and you sort it out for something that is non-organic.
Yes.
And then the compost in the middle, the plastic thing, it turns into soil.
Yeah.
And that would be fantastic.
And there are some, just to say, there are some amazing companies here doing amazing things, sorting plastic.
I saw it,
Sungai Watch, Ecolab, making plastic furniture and stuff like that. So that's definitely the direction that we should go to help this. And there are companies, people doing amazing things, but we all need to do our little bit.
Exactly. And they need the small organizations. I saw one also the other day. It was absolutely amazing. They could change organic garbage into with some kind of lava. They could change it into soil within I think it was a few days.
Okay.
But they need financial support from the government. And that financial support from the government can only come from tax revenue when you are paying tax on your villa.
Yes. Perfect.
Everything's connected.
It's a cycle.
It's the cycle of life. Amazing. Let me just look in my notes. Yes. Activity in general.
Yep.
For Bali, first quarter.
Yes.
I mean, wow. I feel every quarter we talk about new things. It's absolutely insane. What is the headline besides Airbnb ban and garbage? What pops up in your mind? A lot.
Yeah, I mean, I think we always talk about the areas, right? And we've talked a lot for the last 2 or 3 years about Uluwatu being in, and we said last year, I remember talking in Q2, Q3, saying how for the first time it felt that Uluwatu and Canggu were leveling out a little bit, tourist numbers.
Yeah.
I think now for the very first time you feel that Uluwatu is actually getting a bit busier than
it is.
Canggu. I was there yesterday. You were there a couple of days ago. It feels very busy. It feels a lot like Canggu 5-6 years ago, where it was very much in the inception, but there's a buzz around the place. There's a lot of people. So for me, that's been the biggest shift over the last few months. You have a lot of clients that come here that have been to Canggu, been to Uluwatu. They know the different areas, and now they're starting to spend all of their time in Uluwatu. So that's a big difference for us.
I think you're absolutely right. It's almost, but it's very different now. Canggu is the city.
Yep.
City with a beach. It's amazing. When you go down to Uluwatu, it's the true beachy surf vibe. I feel like a little bit like Venice Beach. People are a little bit more relaxed.
But every week when I drive down there, I drive down there every Wednesday, and every week I see new cafes, new restaurants, new roads that have opened, and the whole area is just expanding.
And there's more room than Canggu. So I think that's all the way from Pejatu, even, Melasti, Pejatu, Nungalan, Nyanyang, Uluwatu, it's absolutely insane.
And I think it's changing fast right now. I mean, you still see the families in Canggu, right? It's still here for the schooling. The facilities around the area of Canggu are still better. You have better healthcare, better schools, better supermarkets, but it's changing quickly down there. They've just opened an international school 8-9 months ago.
Looks amazing.
Which looks beautiful, and a lot of people will go to the area. I think that area will grow a lot over the next few years. But that's probably been the biggest change over the last 6 months, particularly Q1 here as well. Yeah, it's exciting.
I look at different YouTube channels from Bali.
Yeah.
Some of them are a little bit concerned about the water consumption in Uluwatu.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not going to change. And the truck water is one thing. You can drill a well. There's different PDAM is going to grow. PDAM is the government water supply.
Water,
One
but
thing
it already has changed a little, right?
A little bit.
You see in Labuan site in the main road that goes into Uluwatu, they've put the dam there. PDAM is being more connected. So I think the area is getting better, but people get very annoyed about it very quickly. So,
but I have to say, Uluwatu is where it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And I think we need a few hundred more villas, maybe maybe 500 more villas according to the demand. Needs to be built because right now the occupancy is way too high still.
Yeah, and I spoke to management companies over the last few months, right? Particularly in what we say the normal season, or a little bit quieter than the peak season, which was January, February, March. And what they said to me is that despite it being quieter in Canggu in those months, Uluwatu is still very, very busy. So we're already seeing it flip on its head a little bit, where Uluwatu is becoming the place that people want to be.
If you want to buy a villa in Uluwatu, contact Propertia. Yeah, call Joe. Yes. For sure. Okay, what else?
What else?
I had one thing that popped up in my mind.
Okay.
Our billboard.
Oh. So well, our second one that's gone viral, right?
It's our second? Yeah.
The first one went viral, and now the second one.
But the second one was... the first one was crazy.
What did the first one say?
I cannot remember.
What did the first one say?
Do you remember that? The billboard?
If you want the wrong advice, ask everyone. Yeah?
Yeah, we made that, right?
Yeah,
because
so we did that first one.
Yeah, so
and that one
it was
viral.
Based on real estate, but of course also life in general, right?
Yeah.
So if you want to be wrong, ask everyone, right? Yes. That's exactly what happens in real estate. Yeah. When we go and do evaluation for a property, people say, yeah, but this agent said this, this agent said this, and then you're going to be wrong.
Yeah.
The second one.
Yes.
What is that? Do you remember it?
A
bad day in
Bali is still better than a good day anywhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's gone very crazy online.
Absolutely insane. I saw a girl, she said, she had 1.7 million views on her video, and she had like 12,000 followers. It was absolutely insane.
So if you're coming to Uluwatu and you take the main road into Uluwatu, down Labuan site, which is exactly where our office is, you will see this enormous billboard and
lights on at night time.
Yeah.
So please, any influencer following this and who wants to make a video, go get the statement, post it. We love you guys. It's absolutely amazing. Yeah, that was one of this quarter's absolutely. It was a huge surprise for me that it went viral because it's a statement that we had on our window in Barava for a long time. Yeah. And it just needed to be out there. And thank you guys for sharing. It was absolutely amazing. Okay, let's just, if I was to invest right now in Bali, is it a good time or a bad time according to currencies?
It's an amazing time.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do we have currencies?
Yeah, we have currencies, right? Are we in the wrong order?
Yeah, we are.
You want us to talk about something else first?
He's looking at us. It's okay.
Currencies, I mean, any currency that you're sat with right now, you're getting a very favorable rate against the IDR. So
why is that?
Well, the IDR is dropped in value. So it means if you're sat with euros, pounds, if you get paid in IDR and you want to send pounds back to the UK, it's not good. Trust me.
Do that.
But if you have pounds to spend and you want to come to Indonesia, then it's a fantastic time. So euros, pounds, Australian dollar, US dollar just topped 17,000 IDR to the dollar last week. Yeah, if you're sat with currencies, it is an extremely good time to be buying a villa in Bali. And
I think if you're European now, it's more than 10%. If you have euros, you save 10% on a property. It's unheard of.
Yeah.
Basically just on the currency.
Yeah.
Because we are obligated to advertise our properties in Indonesian rupiah according to Indonesian law. And so the amounts are fixed. Do we have anything? Yes.
There we go.
Yeah, nice, Roman. Thank you so much. Oi, they are going up, right? It's amazing. Yeah. No, so what happened was the Indonesian rupiah was devaluated for a lot of reasons. Yeah. It's not because Indonesia is not a fantastic country and a healthy country. Actually, the GDP is very high compared to other countries. But it devaluated against the dollar, the euro, Australians. Yep. Anyone sitting out there, if you're in Australia, in Europe, in US, want to buy a villa in Bali, this is the time. It's not going to last forever. But if you close your transactions within the next, I would say 3 months, probably, then you are saving minimum 10% on your property. And I think Laia also made a video about it.
Yep.
So I think this is the golden opportunity to buy a property in Bali. But you need to be selective, especially about ROI. We have gone through it so many times with different videos. Is the what do you call it? Is the occupancy still strong? Are there still a lot of visitors here? Or?
Yeah, I mean, we use two data sources, AirDNA, but also direct to source, which is speaking to the big management companies here. And they're still telling us occupancies are very strong. What has happened over the last few months is Uluwatu has definitely become top dog in the area, but Canggu is still very good. I think more important than ever in Canggu, it's important to buy the right property, right?
So true.
Because there's been a lot of building here for the last 4 or 5 years. A lot of villas were located in Canggu, but maybe not Canggu.
Outskirts of Canggu.
North Canggu or something like that.
Yeah.
It's very important if you're going to have a villa in Canggu that you're in a prime area and you will still get a very good occupancy. I think Uluwatu is still very much in the early stages where actually, of course, if you're in Bingin, Thomas Beach, Padang, somewhere between that, you're going to have the highest occupancies. But actually, you can still be around Uluwatu in general and be in Sulaban, Nyang Nyang, areas that are not centrally located yet and have very high occupancies as well. So I think Uluwatu has this buzz around it where, and when we say high occupancies, maybe should tell people what that is. We're talking 80, 85%
it's crazy.
plus in some of them. So
I saw a ROI calculation from another real estate agency about investing in Southeast Asia, and Bali was top dog in the ROI.
Yeah, and I think it's important. We never try to overinflate this, right? We try to be quite conservative about occupancies, daily rates, and the overall ROI. The occupancies, if we're sending out forecasts to our clients, even in these prime areas, we're talking 75 to 80% conservative, rather under promise and over deliver. When it comes to ROIs, we're definitely not going to shout and say 18 to 20% ROI like a lot of what you see in the market. It can happen in exceptional circumstances, but I think very comfortable ROI, particularly around Bingin, Thomas Beach these days, is probably more around 12, 13%, 14, 15 in the very good ones. And it's very achievable on the right properties.
And if you were a tourist and you were just, I need to go to Bali, how would you plan your trip if you were a tourist?
How many weeks do I have?
Yeah, you have 3 weeks.
3 weeks?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I always used to say typical tourists would spend, if they came here for 2 weeks, 10 days would be in Canggu. Old days, that would have been Seminyak. You would have spent a couple of nights in Ubud and maybe a day trip or overnight trip to Uluwatu, but there was very little down there at the time. I think now a lot of people are spending a lot more time in Uluwatu. So if I was in Uluwatu, where would I stay? Probably Thomas Beach, Sulaban is my favorite area around there, especially if you're a foodie. The best restaurants,
absolutely
incredible.
Insane.
So probably Thomas Beach, Sulaban, but as long as I was close to Bingin somehow, then you have amazing gyms, wellness, etc. Canggu is definitely still worth a lot of time. I think we're spoiled in Canggu and we forget it living here sometimes, but I had a client here last week and he said, I just cannot believe how lucky you are with everything around, right? If you want a good espresso, take your pick. You have 50 choices on your doorstep, right? Even where I live, which is not in the middle of Canggu, within 200 meters, I have 5 or 6 amazing coffee shops. So we're spoiled for choice in Canggu. I would definitely involve that. And you're seeing that other areas, like we don't work in Ubud. We don't work in Sanur. Not yet. Yeah. Or Sanur or anywhere like that. But I mean, a lot of these areas have also been regenerated over the last couple of years. So I don't know if I would spend much time there, but it's definitely worth a visit. So for me, Canggu, Uluwatu, a couple of day trips to Ubud.
2 days in Sanur.
I think it's
Joe's favorite place.
Yeah, but I wouldn't buy a villa there.
No. So, well, Sanur is nice. It's beautiful, right? It's like crazy. Okay, let's catch up with some questions. If anyone has any questions, do we have any?
Did we miss anything?
No, nothing yet. Okay. One thing that I would like to...
Okay, we got to talk about projects.
Yeah. Projects.
Yes.
Yeah. You start.
Cool. One we need to talk about because actually we always talk about the projects for each quarter, and we launched one this quarter that was pretty exceptional in the middle of Canggu.
That's crazy.
Finished villas.
Yeah.
People may have heard of it. The Cali.
If you have been to Bali and you haven't heard about Cali,
The Cali.
then you've been in the wrong place, right?
There we go. Liar's video is on the screen.
Thank you, Roman. Yeah,
so
nice.
Good. Yeah, the Cali, incredible villas and worth spending some time talking about. Location-wise, Nelayan, which is probably the best street in Canggu. Right?
I live in Nelayan.
You live in Nelayan, next to Body Factory Gym, some of the most famous cafes like Revolver, Kind. So amazing location. Style-wise, very unique. They have had huge occupancies for the last 3.5 years since they've been live. Yeah, and they make a lot of money.
It's just, it's a finished villa with some kind of rental guarantee. Yeah. It's like buying an absolutely bulletproof investment.
Yeah. Fully managed, ready to go, turnkey. You can buy it and take over tomorrow, and they are making crazy money per month.
And for me, they're very reasonable in price. $229 for one bed.
$229, yeah.
And it comes with the best management I've ever met.
Yeah.
And so big, polite.
They're spacious, their quality is top notch. Yeah. So I think the villas are amazing. And important to mention, this is the first time they've ever been offered for sale. So we have 4 units available, which is really not a lot. And some lucky owners are going to be the very first to own them. How
much is it in rupiah, actually? Do you remember? We will get it back to that. Maybe there's a little bit of money to save also if you do the transaction now. So the Cali is by far one of the most beautiful concepts I've seen in a long time because they do it very, very differently, right? And think they started out 2 years ago with a lot of influencers saying, oh, this is different, this is cool. The 1-bedrooms, what is unique about them? Because now we just showed a very quick video, but what I find very unique is the space. They are huge.
But the space is generated because you have the swimming pool on the rooftop, which is very cool, right? So you get light all of the time on the rooftop, on the swimming pool. You have all of this space.
But still privacy.
Still privacy.
Even though they're next to each other. Yeah, exactly.
And nobody can see in. Yeah. But you get so much light on them. Yeah. You have space up there, and they're just really beautiful.
Yeah. So if you're looking for a finished villa, because a lot of you are looking for finished villas, you don't have the patience to wait for 12, 14 months for an off-plan. The Cali is like a turnkey property, fully managed, very reasonable terms.
What we just said about Canggu, if you're going to buy a villa in Canggu, you should buy something that is unique or proven. Now, we actually only have a couple of projects in Canggu now, so the Cali is one of them that we're selling for finished villas. Yeah. We have Mayora, which is still incredible. Outside of that, I'd be very cautious of buying in Canggu.
Yeah, me too.
In case you buy the wrong product. So.
Yeah. A lot of developers went outside Canggu. I saw another YouTube channel talking about Kedungu all the time. We have developers going to Copacabana, Buduk. It's simply not working for daily rental.
No,
I'm so sorry.
So it's different purpose, right? I think
it is different purpose.
Chapaka a few weeks ago. Chapaka's it's beautiful, but it's more residential. It's where you live, right? It's 15, 20 minutes to drive to the beach, and it's definitely more residential. I wouldn't buy a villa there for daily rental, right? So it's not that these other areas are bad. They're fantastic areas, but not exactly where I would invest to rent out.
I think Copacabana is beautiful. It's authentic Bali, but it's still far away from my favorite coffee shop, right? Yes. So it's I like to live in the city, but I also love Uluwatu. It's still city life with this beachy vibe. So there's plenty of property to choose from. I'm doing a video very soon about choosing your real estate agent. And I'm very sorry because this is not a part of our script, but I thought about, so you are probably you're probably the real estate agent in Bali that has most credibility. That's Joe. Joe, yeah, right? I'm not going to pat your back, but that's actually the truth. You know, we have a lot of competition, and they are more than welcome. But what should you be looking out for when you're choosing the real estate agent that you're buying from? I'm sorry I'm surprising you with this question, but it's very relevant, right?
Straightforward to answer, right? I mean, if I was sat overseas, regardless of my agent, I would want to make sure I'm dealing with an agency that has a physical location, that someone I can actually visit when I'm there, that has credibility, that has some history that you can track back over a little while. So I think it's very important to find an agency with credibility. Through a credible agency, you will find credible agents. True. I would hope, right? Yeah. So for us, we've always prided on ourselves on having multiple physical locations now where you can come and visit us, having face-to-face meetings, making sure that our agents are very visible. So, you know, if you want to deal with Michael from Propertia, you know exactly who he is and you've seen him online.
What he looks like and how he's carrying himself.
A lot of people want to deal with him because of what he looks like. So, but it's good to know who the agents are, right? Yeah. And I think no matter who you go through to when you inquire with us, if you get Corinne, Kelsey, Aria, Michael, myself, you know exactly who it is you're dealing with. I'm also
selling a little bit.
Yeah, I sell sometimes as well. You know who you're dealing with. Yeah. You've seen them online. It's not somebody hiding behind a keyboard, right? So for me, that's what I would look for, and that's probably why we run the way we do. Yeah.
But I the reason why I'm bringing up this subject is I realize there's so many agents working illegally. And it's a topic that comes up in a lot of areas around the world. Yeah. That's why I'm going to make the video, because you are absolutely right. You need to know who you're dealing with, which property. So first of all, my main point is, who are you talking with? Yeah. Find them on Instagram, which is the biggest media. Yeah. If they're not showing up there, there's a reason.
Yes.
They're probably working illegally.
Hiding behind something.
Hiding behind something else, right? Number 2, is there a physical address you can visit? Yeah. Is there an office? Yeah. Right? Number 3, are they members of Arabi, which is the Association of Real Estate Agents in Indonesia? Right? That's also relevant. Yeah. And 4, do they actually have a legal team? Right? Because, wow, we are so happy with our legal team.
Yeah. Our legal team are amazing.
Yes.
So good.
I don't even... Remember way back when we started doing these MOUs ourselves? Yeah. Now we have a legal team. And thank you to the legal team. You are absolutely amazing. Everyone is in Propertia, but the legal team is actually doing a due diligence before it actually ends up with the notary doing the due diligence. Yeah. So we know what we are selling.
Yeah. I think the last thing to add to agents through agencies, I mean, rightly or wrongly, this is our full-time career. We're not here to surf for 5 hours a day and do real estate on the side, right? So when you're dealing with our agents, they are extremely professional and dedicated, right?
Full-time
if you're looking for something, they have your best interest in mind, because this is their full-time job, right? They're not doing anything else. They only work in real estate and they only work on your behalf. So that's also what I would want to deal with if I was coming.
For sure, because Indonesia is also... We also had a few clients who lost a lot of money the last 6 months, not with us, but they came in and they were devastated because, wow, we should just have gone to you from the very beginning. Yeah. And buying directly as a customer, directly from a developer, can also go terrible wrong right there. But anyway, we will... is there any questions, or should we round it up?
Yes, we have one question.
Yeah, let's...
Frenchies, it said, why you don't like Sanur?
We love Sanur. We love Sanur.
Peter, because I love Sanur. I think explain a little bit about Sanur. Sanur is a resort area, right? It's been built on the big resorts, the big hotels. Yeah. You've got amazing hotels there. The beach in Sanur is probably one of the nicest. Yeah. It definitely in this kind of southeast coast. So it's one of the nicest beaches around. It's one of the most accessible. It has a boardwalk, which is 6 kilometers long, so you can walk along. It's a really beautiful area. When I came to Bali, Sanur was known as the retirement village, right? And they said it's where people go to retire. And I think it was very true of the area, that it attracted an older generation that went for
a little bit in the past. Now it's changing fast, right?
It's had this kind of regeneration over the last few years. So they opened the International Hospital. They made it a health capital. If you go to Sanur on a Sunday morning at 6 a.m., you will see thousands of people running and walking. It's a very healthy, active place.
Fantastic.
And I love it.
Yeah.
But it's more built on resorts.
Yeah.
And so it's not that either of us think it's a bad place. I just don't think it's the place that you should invest in a villa in, because you're
very limited inventory also.
Very limited, because if you want to be in Sanur, you want to be beachside.
Yeah.
Limited options are beachside.
Oh, for sure.
And a lot of tourists that go there stay at Hyatt and Andaz and these big resorts. So don't get me wrong, I think it's the nicest place in Bali. I would live there tomorrow, but I wouldn't invest there necessarily tomorrow.
It's hard to invest there. It's not that we don't want to, it's just hard.
Yeah.
Because like you said, you want to be on the beach side.
Yeah, and a lot of the
very
villas
limited
that are there
villas
were built 20, 25, 30 years ago, right? So if you look at the inventory available in the area, it is very old style villas that are there, which is not a bad thing, but to keep up in this modern Airbnb market, it would be very difficult.
And they have a shopping mall.
They have Icon.
Icon shop.
Cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
It's nice.
I like it.
A lot of good things happening in Sanur. I hope they're going to change it into this health hub. That would be super amazing. The International Hospital has really...
And the International Hospital has brought in international medics as well, right? Doctors have come from Singapore and very well-educated countries, so it will only raise the standard there.
For sure.
I saw that they cleared a huge area next to the beach where they were going to put an outdoor activity area, so outdoor gym. So it's going to be a cool place.
That's going to be
That's my retirement.
You should open an office there. If you want to
Give
sell
us
your
a thumbs
property,
up if you want an office in Sanur.
or if you want to sell your property in Sanur, we have a lot of customers asking, but we don't have any listings.
Yeah.
That's basically it. Other questions? Otherwise, maybe what do we have in general? What kind of questions do we have in general on our social media on a weekly basis? Can I get a mortgage?
Not yet.
Oh, I like that.
Yes. Yeah.
Not yet. Did you hear what he said?
Yeah.
Just stay tuned. Follow us on Instagram and YouTube because we have something.
Big news coming soon.
Wow. So give us another week. We need to sign contracts. We need to make sure we do this absolutely right. But there is probably potentially finance on its way.
Yes.
Nice. Other questions? Who is sitting with the questions normally? No? Okay. Let's round it up.
Yep.
First quarter, amazing quarter.
Yep.
Second is going to be even better.
Yeah, I think we're going into the busier period now. It's always busier from April, May onwards, definitely as we get into June, July, August. So we feel like we're getting busier. It will be good, quarter 2 and 3.
Maybe we should also say, are you sitting in Dubai? You're sitting in Melbourne, in Gold Coast, Sydney, want to buy a property overseas? Very easy. Call Joe, call the team. It is a transaction that can be done more or less, without any headaches.
A lot of our clients are sat overseas, sat in other countries, and they let our agents take care of everything for them. We can guide them through it A to Z. So it's very easy. What I would say is start with a call. Have a call with our agents.
Exactly.
They will tell you exactly how this works. And,
just be honest with your budget.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the first thing.
Yeah.
I have 300,000 Australian dollars. Give me the best property with the highest ROI in the best location, which is Uluwatu. We will help you.
Yeah.
For sure. Thank you, guys. We have another question.
Actually,
You need to speak up, huh?
we have one more question.
Yeah.
It's from Instagram. Helen, do you think tourism will going much higher in quarter 2?
Much higher.
Much higher.
I think it will increase.
Yeah, I mean,
depending on the situation in the Middle East.
An impact in quarter 1 because of the flights. So you would naturally expect more tourism here in quarter 2. Historically, over the last few years, I've always talked about the numbers, right? And it always gets much, much busier the closer to the middle of the year we get. So definitely from April onwards, April to September is going to be the busiest time. Wow. June, July, August will be peak. Yeah. I would expect it to get busier. I also think that if things settle down in the Middle East and flights do open up, that we will probably get very busy because people will have a little bit of...
It's going to be like after COVID.
Yeah, a little bit where people haven't been able to travel for a little while, so they'll be very anxious to travel. or eager to travel, and they'll all arrive here very quickly.
We need the airlines also to reduce the prices a little bit on their tickets,
expensive,
right?
but
Very
we need
expensive.
fuel prices to come down.
Oh yeah,
so-
fuel prices. This is
Yeah,
what I'm
it's all
saying.
connected.
Everything is connected,
Yeah,
right?
but it's
like
very expensive to fly now. So
you know that.
yes.
You're going soon, so yeah. Any more questions? Yeah, we have another one.
One more question. When do you do property in Ubud from Stein Hovering on Instagram?
When do we do properties or what?
In Ubud.
Yeah.
We do.
We do.
Already?
We have 5
We've
or 6
started?
amazing listings in Ubud. We are not Ubud experts,
I think
but
I always talk about this with my clients.
yeah,
Ubud is huge,
it's huge.
right? When I also love to go there.
Me
and
too.
I think the food up there, I'm a foodie. The food is amazing.
Yeah.
But you can be, Google Maps says you're in Ubud, but you're still 10 kilometers away from the center,
So true.
right? It's a huge area.
Yeah.
So I think we're slowly getting into Ubud, but yeah, without overcommitting ourselves on areas that we don't know about.
No.
So we will, I think
We
will
talked
grow there.
about it, you and I, and we are very convinced we need to open an office, right? To
Yeah.
be serious represented in Ubud.
But it's a long way to the beach. If I
Yeah,
wanna
but
walk
you
my
don't
dog
care
on the
about the beach because you have the waterfalls
Yeah,
inside the jungle,
absolutely.
right?
Yeah.
It's not for you and me, but we have some.
It's very nice up there.
We have some agents in this company that really wants to go to
Yeah,
Ubud.
and I think there's some spectacular villas up in Ubud with incredible views.
I think some of them are actually much nicer than down south here.
Yeah.
They are. I've seen some hidden ones where you're just like, what is going
Yeah,
on?
yeah, yeah. But I think it will happen in the
Yeah.
future.
Yeah.
Watch
Give us
this
a
space.
thumbs up if you think Propertia should go to Ubud. That would be amazing.
And Sanur. Ubud and Sanur.
Ubud and
I'm
Sanur.
going to Sanur.
Yeah, okay.
You can go to Ubud.
Yeah. Oh, no. Okay. Any more questions? Are we done? We are done. Okay. Good, guys. Please, if you have any questions, just add it in the comment, and we use social media to answer your questions. They are very relevant for me. It's very important that you guys feel we are giving you the service that you deserve. So questions. Our team love the questions, and we are going to reply them through the social media because it's not just one question from one customer. It's in general from all of them.
Yes.
So we are rounding up. The only thing I want to say is take good care of yourself, and let's hope this war is going to be over soon. But one really, really important thing is come to Bali and feel the amazing energy of Bali. Thank you, Joe.
Thank you.
See you
Thank
soon.
you, everyone.